58.50. Brandon Lociavo, Purdue University, 52.35D. $62.35. Joseph Savelli, Purdue University, 205C. $61.50. Matt Barnard, University of Minnesota, Twin Cities, 105B. $63.70. James Conner, Indiana University, 405C. $83.70. Colin Zhang, Ohio State University, 205C. $55.50. Michael Hickson, Indiana University, 205C. $72 even. Steele Johnson, Purdue University, 205C. $72 even. Starting the second round, Cody, 51-34D. Scores are 8, 8.5, 8, 7.5, 8, 7.5, and 8.5. Total 62.40. Brandon, 107C. Eight, 7.5, 7.5, 8.5. For a score of 72 even. Joseph, 305C. Judges' scores are 9, 9, 8.5, 8.5, 8.5, 9, and 8.5. Score 78, even. Matt Barnard, 203B. Judges' scores are 9, 8.5, 8.5, 8, 9, 8.5, and 8.5 for a score of 58.65. James, 51-52B. Judges' scores are 8, 8.5, 7.5, 8, 8, 7, and 8. Total score 76.80. Colin Zane, 305C. Judges' scores are 8, 7.5, 8.5, 8.5, 8.5, 8, and 9. Total score of 75 even. Michael, 53-35D. Judges' scores are 9, 8.5, 8.5, 8.5, 9, 8.5, and 8.5. Total score 76.50. Steele, 305C. Judges' scores are 9, 8.5, 8.5, 9, 8.5, 9, and 9. Total score 79.50, 205C. Judges' score 6, 7, 6.5, 7, 6.5, 7, and 7. Total score 61.50. Brandon, 51-52B. Judges' scores 5.5, 6.5, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6.5. Total score 57.60. Joseph, 107C. Judges' scores 8, 7.5, 8, 7.5, 8, 8, and 8. Total score 72, even. Matt, 305C. 52.50. Judges scores 5.5, 5.5, 6, 5.5, 6, 6, and 6.5. James, 205C. Judges scores 8.5, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 8. Total score 81 even. Colin, 53-35D. Judges scores 8, 8.5, 8.5, 9, 7.5, 8, and 8. Total score 73.50. Mike, 305C. Judges scores 9, 9, 8.5, 9, 8.5, 9, and 9. Total score 81 even. Steele, 405C. Judges scores 9, 9, 9, 9.5, 9.5, 9. 9.5. Total score 85.25. Beginning of the fourth round, Cody, 305C. Judges scores 3, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 2, 3, 2.5. Total score 21 even. Brandon, 305C. Judges score 7.5, 7, 7.5, 7.5, 7.5, 6.5, and 7. Total score 66 even. Joseph, 53-35D. Judges scores 9, 8.5, 7.5, 9, 8.5, and 8. Total score 76.50. Matt Barnard, 405C. Judges scores 8, 9, 8, 8, 9, 8, 8.5. Total score 75.95. James, 53-35D. Judges scores 8.5, 8.5, 8.5, 8.5, 9, 9, and 9. Total score 78 even. Colin, 51-52B. Judges scores 9, 9.5, 9, 9, 9, 9, and 9. Total score 86.40. Mike, 51-52B. Judges scores 8.5, 8, 8.5, 8.5, 8.5, 8.5, and 8. Total score 81.60. Steel 53-35D. Judges scores 8.5, 8.5, 8, 8.5, 9, 8.5, and 9.5. Total score 76.50. Starting round 5, Cody, 107C. Judges scores 5.5, 5.5, 4.5, 6.5, 5, 5.5, and 5.5. Total score 49.50. Brandon, 205C. Judges scores 7.5, 7.5, 8, 7.5, 7.5, 8, and 7.5. Total score 67.50. Joseph, 405C. Judges scores 7, 7.5, 8, 8.5, 8, 8.5, and 8. Total score 74.40. Matt, 51-52B. Judges scores 2, 2.5, 1.5, 1.5, 2, 1.5, and 1. Total score 16 even. James, 305C. Judges scores 9.5, 9.5, 8.5, 9, 9.5, 9.5, and 9.5. Total score 85.50. Colin, 107B. Judges scores 9.5, 9, 8.5, 9.5, 8.5, 9.5, and 10. Total score 92.40. Mike, 107B. Judges scores 9, 8.5, 8, 8.5, 9, 9, and 9.5. Total score 87.45. Steel, 107C. Judges scores 8, 8, 7.5, 7.5, 8, 8.5, and 8. Starting round 6, Cody, 405C. Judges scores 6, 6.5, 6.5, 6, 5.5, 5.5, and 6.5. Total score 57.35. Brandon, 405C. Judges score 7.5, 8, 7, 8, 7.5, 8, and 8. Total score 72.85. Joseph, 51-52B. Judges scores 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8.5, 7.5. Total score 76.80. Matt, 53-35D. Judges score 7.5, 8, 8, 8, 8, 7.5, and 8. Total score 72, even. James, 107C. Judges scores 9, 9, 9, 9.5, 9.5, 9, and 9.5. Total score 82.50. Colin, 405B. Judges scores 9, 9, 8.5, 9, 8.5, 9, 9.5. Total score 91.80. Mike, 405B. Judges scores 8.5, 9, 8, 9, 8.8.5, 9, and 9. Total score 90.10. Steele, 51-52B. Judges scores 9, 9, 8.5, 8.5, 8.5, 9, and 9. Total score 84.80.